You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Cowabunga, dudes. Welcome back to the movie graveyard. This is the GOAT, joined by our newest gravedigger here, Zach. Zach, what's going on?
What's a guy gotta do to get some food around here? Hell yeah, I'm here with the fucking boy. I'm here with the GOAT. We watching the TMNT, baby. The
That's
original.
right. Cricket? You gotta know what a crumpet is in order to play cricket.
Hell yes. Damn.
NT. Yeah, so we're rolling with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990, I believe. I gotta say, I'm kind of, disappointed in myself, Zach. I didn't realize that this year, back in, I think, March, was the 30th anniversary of this film.
Hell yes.
So we're a couple months late, but at least we did it in the correct year to hit the 30th anniversary.
They didn't drop that fucking 30th anniversary steelbook that you would have inevitably got.
Oh, I would have bought the shit out of it.
Hell yes.
Because nothing's better than the turtle merchandise. Turtle merchandise.
Big steelbook guy, yeah.
Yeah, turtle merchandise is weird though. Like they come up with like the weirdest turtle merchandise, and then the shit that you think they really would sell, they don't sell at all. So.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, I got a long history with the TMNT, and I'm sure you do too. And we'll talk all about it when we get rolling here. We are going to roll here. I'm rolling off the Blu-ray, which starts out with a brand new superimposed New Line logo. Zach is rolling off the original DVD, which just starts with a shot of New York City. So we're going to go ahead and do it like right at the beginning of the movie. No logo, just the actual fade up shot of New York City. You can see the beautiful Twin Towers. They still exist in this cinematic universe. They didn't go back and erase them digitally like they did in the Spider-Man movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I have the blue at the 23-second mark, which is where it fades in. What's the second mark you got on the DVD, Zach?
My DVD is 7 seconds.
Okay, perfect. So 23 if you're in HD, 7 if you're in SD. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And when you hear me say the word go, hit play on your remote or controller or flashlight, whatever you got handy. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3, go. Totally tubular, dude.
Exactly.
Look at this. Opening.
Both of the movies.
Yeah.
Both the movies start out with a great shot of New York City, but they're not eating pizza in this one.
You know what hit me when I first watched this again the other night, Zach, was that opening montage. That's how the beginning of every New York movie back then opened, like the city, the street, and then the shot. That same exact. It was almost like stock footage that they put in every movie. The same exact shot of that crowded ass sidewalk. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. And this movie was really low budget, and they didn't have like a big film crew behind them. So like basically they couldn't shoot the whole movie in New York City. So a lot of it was like shot in like South Carolina. Yep. So I think that's a big thing they do to like trick you into thinking like, oh yeah, this is where this movie takes place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like all these wide shots that are obviously Newark, and then we see this kid lean up against a wall, probably somewhere in downtown fucking South Carolina somewhere.
They did shoot like a couple days there just for like big landmark kind of scene. Probably that might have been shot in New York City. Yeah. It's hard telling though. And he's also wearing a Sid Vicious shirt. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sid Vicious was dead, probably how many years at that point? Almost 15 at that point? Mm-hmm. He still was a punk icon. I remember kids in my high school wearing Sid Vicious shirts.
Hell yes.
So the opening of this movie is just people getting shit stolen at a rapid rate, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. And they shot this because they ran out of money. The original opening was kind of more extravagant and took place at night, and was like a shot of New York City with like the ocean in front of it, and then like their turtle shells pop up, which they kind of did in part 2, like towards the end. But yeah, they couldn't shoot that.
Yeah. What was you going to say before that, Zach?
I was going to mention, remember like the old school VHS of this had a commercial from like Pizza Hut at the beginning. Remember like back in the day when we weren't cynical about like, product placement and like Like back then, we'd see that and we were like, hell yeah, I want to get a pizza right now.
Yeah, I gotta say that this movie, this Enterprise here, has some very, very bizarre product placement. Here's some Burger King product placement, but pretty much whenever they do pizza product placement in the movie, it's Domino's. But when the movie came out, all the merchandise and tie-ins was with Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm. They had like commercials. They had, and like the movie itself has their competition on it. That's funny.
Yeah. Now let's talk about this version of April O'Neil. This is actually my favorite version of April O'Neil because she pretty much changes in every turtle movie that comes out. I like this actress, whatever her name is, Judith, whatever. Is it Hogue? Is that who it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what her last name is.
Yeah.
Hogue, yeah.
Like she has a. And I guess we should say too, like, but she has like a I don't know what you call it, like a relatable sensuality about her that I like.
Yeah, she looks very like just the girl next doorish.
Yeah.
When they recast her in part 2, it was
Paige Turco, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like Paige Turco too, but come on, man. Oh,
exactly.
We got a celebrity cameo, early appearance by The Rock, and by The Rock I mean Sam Rockwell.
Hell yes.
At this point, he was hot off the starring role in Clown House.
Oh, man. Where they had to redub all their voices.
Yeah, they did.
They shot it with the convicted pedophile. Well, he wasn't convicted at that point.
No, yeah, he was just getting rolling at that point.
Exactly.
So that's a good move. Like, I like when superhero movies, or really any action movie, because Christian Bale did it too in one of his movies, the Equilibrium movie, where you just start out the opening with the action scene that you don't even have to bother filming because it takes place in the dark.
Yeah, I read that was a last decision because they were running out of budget and they couldn't choreograph another fight scene.
Yeah. And plus, they had Sam Rockwell involved. Probably an insurance company wouldn't let him take too many blows to that beautiful, greasy face of his.
Exactly.
I gotta say it works, though, because, like, just that moment of, like, seeing the Psy hit the light and then seeing Raphael peek out from underneath the little manhole cover there. I have to say, like, that, like, this movie's way better than even I remember it. And believe me, it's, like, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. But yeah, just something about it, man. It instead of just blowing its load, like, right off the bat, like, it slowly inches you up. Like, at this point, you haven't even really seen a turtle yet, and you're still on the edge of your seat, you know what I mean?
They're building it up, and then right here they do the little freeze frame, which makes it fucking plays with you even more.
Yeah, you see their shadows, and the shadows are awesome, because the turtles look exactly how you expect them to.
Mm-hmm. Do you know originally, like whenever they first started like coming up with the idea to make this movie, they were actually going to do like a Roger Rabbit thing where like the actors were real and the turtles were animated or something.
I'm glad they didn't do that though, just because honestly, I think the Jim Henson, suit company things there, like I think they're like the best thing about this movie, in honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Michael Bay. Well, they did do the Roger Rabbit in the remake, I guess, because Michael Bay brought out China's finest animation company to bring the turtles to life and make them 600 pounds and all that. But there's something about when you see like your favorite hero, like your favorite comic book cartoon hero, like physical, real.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. In the comic books, they were like 4 foot or something too. So so they kind of they changed it for the movie so that it would have been harder to find all people, like shorter people. Is like 4 feet? Is that considered like a little person, or like is that taller than a little person?
I'm pretty sure everybody like you gotta understand like there's medical conditions too that classifies different things, but just the general overall generic term of little person I believe is reserved for anybody. I want to say 4'10" and under. So yeah. But yeah, like here they come home and they like you see how slick that was, Zach, how they slowly pan the camera over to see Splinter. I remember people were blown away by how good Splinter looked too, and he's basically just a full puppet, like pretty much.
Exactly. Splinter's dank AF.
He is.
Would you party with Splinter?
Oh yeah, I would do whatever calisthenics or instructions he gave me for sure.
Fucking like make him crowd surf.
Yeah.
Like fucking make him like chug a beer. Like, oh, I'm wasted.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be dank.
He parties because he's got that long. Even though he's a rat, he's got like that long goatee, that white goatee.
Exactly. That's the fucking universal sign.
I guess we should take a second here and talk about the voices. It's like you have like Robbie Rist, who was like a child actor. If it's the dude I'm thinking of,
the kid from Brady Bunch.
Yep,
Oliver.
yep. And then like he went on to become a voice. You know, when he grew up, he stopped playing kid roles. He did voiceovers. I think he's a perfect Michelangelo.
He's great, yeah.
And then like the biggest surprise that like I can't believe that they got or whatever because he was having a lot of problems at the time, but I thought he was great. Was I loved Corey Feldman's voice as Donatello.
Exactly, yeah. I always forget that he's not back in part 2. It's like it's like it's erased from my memory. Like, oh, he's in all of them. And then whenever I watch it, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I remember all over again.
Yeah, I have to say this movie was my height of Ninja Turtles fandom. And then I remember the night I saw part 2, I was so disappointed because at the time there was no internet and shit. I didn't know that there was a huge violence backlash to this movie. Like to me, this was like, oh, not only did they make a Turtles movie, but they made it badass because they had Golden Harvest make it. Who doesn't Golden Harvest mostly make like kung fu movies and shit?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, like, I remember when I saw part 2, like, I came home, I took my Turtles poster down. Like, I had a poster that was, like, the original illustrations. I guess we should real quick, touch on the different iterations of the Turtle. There was an original independent comic book, which, got a certain amount of underground success, but it was actually very violent and meant for adults. Oh, I love this shot of the skateboarding where you see the guy's human hand fly by.
Oh, yeah.
But so the underground comic was really for adults and super, super graphic, super violent. And then like somebody, I don't know who, like got the idea like, hey, we could turn this to a kids thing. So then they did the cartoon and the toys, which then, and then like, well, I should say when I say the cartoon, the 4-episode, I think it was, miniseries, then it became a regular cartoon. And then, the whole phenomenon, as you know, it was born. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Did you say when you saw part 2, you ran home and you took down your poster? Were you like Skippy? Turned down the walls and shit?
I was. I can't even tell you. Not only did I take it down, but I took it all down, like all my toys, all my shit. Which, like, to be fair, like, I was age-wise, I was at the breaking point of, like, not being in the Turtles anymore, But see, my fandom, like, grew because I remember catching, I want to say I was, like, roughly about 10 or 11 when the miniseries came on, and I just like was literally flipping channels and caught the first episode right as it was coming on. Like it was such a, like, people don't understand, but Ninja Turtles was such a stealth launch, man. Like it didn't really just like come out of nowhere, you know what I mean? So like I caught that miniseries, and I'm like, it was like right around the time we were moving houses, and then like a couple months later, I kept going to like a drugstore because the original toys were made by Playmates, which were a tiny ass company. So, like, I can't remember what it was, like a CVS, Rite Aid, whatever it was. Oh, I think it was actually a Walgreens now that I think about it, because that's who we had, like, around Cincinnati. By the way, this pizza looks nasty as hell.
Yeah, it looked like it was left over from, like, 3 days ago. They just heated it up in the microwave or something.
Yeah, but I remember I found the Turtles toys there, and it was, like, they were, like, on, like, not even an end cap, dude, but, like, a side cap that just had, like, pegs or whatever. And the first one I got was Raphael, and then I want to say the second one I got was I think it was Rocksteady, actually. But
we're seeing Critters. You wouldn't watch Critters. Where did they come up with this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
The original one we did together.
We did. That's what brought us together.
Exactly.
And I was hoping
I
was hoping we could do Critters too, but Scream Factory never mailed my box set out, so I just paid them. And
betas.
They are some fucking beta cucks.
Exactly.
I'm glad I'm not a paid sponsor and I can say that they're beta cucks, because they fucking are.
Exactly. You know what's funny too is like people hate Critters 3. I always loved it. I don't know why. It might have been the first one I watched.
I've actually never seen it all the way through. I've seen parts of it on cable and shit.
It's the most blatant Gremlins ripoff, I'd say.
See, that would actually make me probably like it more, to be honest with you. But yeah, like, so, like, Critters came out in, like, what was it, Zach, 85, 86, something like that?
Yeah, for a while that was kind of a movie that New Line Cinema always put in their other movies whenever they wanted to just show a random movie playing. Like it's on that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 with walking to prime time bitch. She's watching that for a second.
That's so weird. It's like, were they just using it every time? Like, you think it'd be more appropriate at the time that they made this that he would probably go see a Freddy movie, but I guess they didn't want kids to be like, oh, what's that poster? Can I see that movie?
Apparently, in the script or whatever, he was going to see the Batman movie.
Oh.
And when he walks out, he says, like, oh, cool suit, lame. Or no, he says, like, good movie, or cool car, lame suit, or something like that.
That actually would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, I can't believe it's like, so we're like 10 minutes in the movie, and we should say Raphael, he talks like this, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Raphael,
He's got the Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, he's so upset over losing his knife that he goes to see Critters, and then he runs into Casey Jones in the park.
Yeah, why doesn't he just go to the store and buy another sai?
Exactly.
Apparently, this stunt coming up where Casey Jones throws him into the trash can, actually, like the helmet the turtle's wearing, like actually caved in and broke his nose or something.
Oh, damn.
And it was bad enough to where he had to like stop doing it, and that's when they got the guy that played Kano in part 2 to come in and do the stunts for the rest of the movie.
Nice. Cricket, you gotta understand what a crumpet is. Bone. Oh, yeah. I always love that shot though when like he's flying through the air though. I love how you can see how buff his legs are.
Exactly. He doesn't skip leg day.
So I guess we should say like the way the turtles are. Well, first of all, I should say one thing that's kind of a bit of trivia a lot of people don't know is the original Turtles comic was in black and white. So like the only way when you read the black and white comic, and it still was in black and white for years and years, but the only way you would know is by the weapons they were holding in the comic. That's the only way you ever know which one was which. You know what I mean?
Didn't they all have like a red bandana too at first once they started coloring the bandanas?
Well, yes and no. So like the original run of the comics, which, you know, go for big money, even by that time when I found out about them. Because, like, for the first couple years of Turtles, you know, whatever, Mania, I didn't realize that there was, like, the true underground version. So, like, yeah, like, originally it was all black and white, and then they did, like these nice, like, reprints that were basically, like, larger books in full color, because the color, you know, making it full color would help it sell. So, like, years later, they went back and recolored it, and they were like, oh, like, you know, like, what about the Turtles bandana? And they're like, oh, just make it red. It wasn't until they took the step to, like, being mainstream with the cartoon and the comics or whatever, or I should say the Archie comics and the cartoon, because later they did do kids-friendly comics with the Turtles. But then they were like, oh, we got to come up with the color scheme. So, yeah, so, like my, like, whatever, you know, large edition graphic novel versions, I think I have 3 or 4, maybe 5 of them, of like the first, whatever it was, 20 issues. Like, yeah, in those, they're in color, but yeah, all their bandanas are red. And like one of the covers, it was that poster I had on the wall. And the only difference they changed with that poster was they made that poster, they put the different colors, they weren't all red. But to me, the Turtles they all wear red, like in my mind, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I always love this whole camera. So every time he puts his hand on him, I always think of like, use my strong hand.
Yeah.
He's got those weird ass fingers. Like, don't touch me with those. Fuck. I
know, the long rat finger. I gotta say though, like the whole relationship. I mean, you want to talk about some super acting motherfuckers? This Splinter rat puppet, it acts better than most actual actors do today.
Oh yes.
Like, it has so much gravitas in its voice when it speaks, and it looks so frail, and you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have that, like, bouncy stick arm puppet look that you would expect. Like, it passes, you know. Like, the Turtles obviously pass for being real, you know, because they're guys in suits, the way they move. But that thing, like, if you look at Splinter's arms and shit, there's nobody in a suit because it's too frail and skinny, you know what I mean? It's just all a big puppet.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's why you hardly ever see him walk or stand up, you know?
Now they're talking about how, oh yeah, I don't know, I can't fucking get through to him. He's always disappearing and shit. And she's like, leave the kid alone. She's already done a story about kids doing this gang shit. She never for a second thinks he might be in on it.
Yeah, the Foot Clan in this version of the movie, you know, this movie-verse version, It's basically like what was it? Like would you say Oliver Twist type thing? Like how Fagin had the army of kids stealing for him. That's what they're doing. Whereas the Foot Clan and the Foot Clan in the cartoon are like robots and shit. But in the original comic, it was just a legit Japanese ninja clan. You know.
Here, fun fact: Judith Hong was actually never Hogue.
Hogue. Yeah, I'd say probably Hogue. I don't know though.
Yeah, she was never asked back because apparently she was particularly like she was complaining apparently is what I'm reading, particularly about the 6-day schedule and the amount of violence in the movie. Now, apparently she did the movie because she had a kid that liked it. So like, apparently like even Jim Henson and stuff were like, they weren't like very keen on the violence in the movie, and like I guess that's why they never brought her back. And apparently like they originally designed her to look more like she did in the cartoon with the bandana like yellow suit and like the big hair, but apparently she saw the suit and was like, hell no. So they like came to an agreement, and the scene earlier where she's wearing the yellow raincoat was like a compromise.
I gotta say, usually I don't like people who aren't like true to the source material and shit, but I gotta say I think I was with her on this because her version of April, like, you know, the turtles are the turtles. Like, they can be the same in the cartoon as they are in the movie. But April, you got to kind of make it like a realistic, believable, fully fleshed out human. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Did you ever see the girl who played April on the side of the Ninja Turtles arcade game?
On the first game?
Yeah.
Or Turtles in Time? Or
the first game where like it has like the cartoon turtles on it, but then it has a human April.
I think so, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, in the jumpsuit. She was hot.
Oh, this is the first scene where she meets the Foot.
Yep. And I gotta say, too, because, like, they, like, not right when the movie came out, but later on, like, they made some movie versions of the toys. Do you ever have these, Zach? Like, the turtles were actually made out of rubber. Like, they were way cooler than the original toys.
I didn't. I don't think so.
I don't think I had all 4 of those. I had all 4 of the original, but the rubberized ones, I think I only had 2 or 3. But they were cool because you could pose them better and they looked more real. But they also made like this version of the Foot Soldier. I had 1 or 2 of these. I always loved the way the Foot Soldiers look in this one.
Mm-hmm. It's probably the best. Yeah. They never made like commercially like you can't buy those masks. I want one.
Yeah. Because they're almost like black Spider-Man type masks, but like the eyes are just like little mesh things. Like, but they're actually cool looking. Yeah,
they look like bugs or something. Yeah. Something about them.
Raph gets his size back here.
Hell yes.
Look at him kicking it. See, and that's the thing too, is like they could move in these suits. Like, I'm sure it wasn't easy. But
well, apparently they actually shot the scenes, like the action scenes with the turtles, at a different frame rate, so that whenever it sped up, it looked like they were going faster, because apparently they were pretty heavy and hard to move in.
Well, I heard too that the like immediately, obviously, when you put it on, I think the suits weighed like over 60 pounds, but as soon as the guys put them on, they started sweating, and like the suits just absorbed the sweat.
Yeah.
So it just got heavier and heavier, and like they were losing like massive amounts of weight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like Raph goes around in like this trench coat disguise, which I always liked. You think at the very least like they could have, fit like a air conditioner in the backpack or something.
Hell yeah. And like, what's the point of the trench coat? Because like, as we saw, whenever he fucking flipped over that taxi driver, he was like, what the hell was that? And he's like, it's a big turtle on a trench coat. They're not even fooled by it.
No, they're not. And I want to say, I get confused with who played the turtle in the suit and who did the voice, but like, I don't know if it was the voice guy or the guy in the suit, but the guy in the back of that cab, I think, was one of the people who played Raphael.
All the people who did the inside the suit stuff have a cameo throughout the movie.
Yeah. It's a good way to reward them for their,
Hell yeah, not like fucking, what's his asshole name? Fucking the guy that made Bad Boys and the new ones. He
Michael
was like,
Bay.
Yeah, apparently they were treated like shit or something. I remember something about that.
Yeah, like, like I remember seeing the pictures when they filmed it. Like they had guys in like janky, like half turtle, half mocap suits.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, and then they just CGI'd over that, obviously. But like, there was also like a weird thing too, like with the Michael Bay one, like where at the last minute they changed the voice actors. Where like I think that's why they got like Johnny Knoxville for like Leonardo and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, like literally any version of a Turtles, live action, whatever, CGI, cartoon, whatever, I would just get the 4 guys who did it for this. I would get Robbie Rist, what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Corey Feldman, Josh Pace. I would just get all those guys.
You know why they call him Robbie Wrist, right?
No.
He's got the fastest wrist in the West. Like, apparently, like, he's broken records for making you come within, like, 3 seconds and shit.
Wow.
See, that would be great if that was true, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
I thought this was a good scene, too, when April freaks out when she wakes up and sees all the turtles and stuff. Splinter.
Did you know, apparently, the longtime Quentin Tarantino editor, Sally Menke, or whatever her name is, apparently this was her first time making a movie, and so I guess she edited this.
Wow. I always liked how these weird shots, like they're like layered in puppets on like green screen type shots. Like I always like the way Baby Splinter, like the turtles, they pretty much use real turtles except for the one shot where they show them like talking or whatever. But I always like the little Splinter puppet.
Apparently, like this scene was shot on Super 8 film to give it like that kind of home movie look. Because like, oh, I'm telling the story of the. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's so low budge, but it's cool. This movie in general is pretty like when you see it, and obviously a lot of people now would say, "Oh, that's a big disadvantage because we like digital bullshit." But like this movie being shot on film and low budget cheap film stock, like the whole thing all throughout, like it has like a level of graininess and grittiness to it, and the movie's not shot like overly stylized like a Joel Schumacher Batman movie or anything. So it kind of has almost like this weird documentary look that kind of like, it kind of, to me, it sells the reality of like all these guys in these suits and shit.
I love how gritty this movie looks.
Yeah, it kind of makes it.
Apparently the director got fired close to the end of shooting because he was going, like everybody was concerned he was going too dark with it. So it's hard telling what his original cut would have been too. That's
so weird to me because like, I don't know, like first of all, the whole ending with you know how they fight Shredder on the rooftop and all that, like it's all kind of similar to like I think it's around issue 4 of the original comic book where they fight Shredder, like they fight the whole Foot Clan on the rooftop, and then Shredder comes and beats their ass, and they like all have to like band together to beat him. But like they literally like they stab him and all this shit. Like Leonardo puts the blades through his chest. He's dying. So he like Shredder says basically fuck you all and pulls out like this grenade and like he pulls the pin and like they end up knocking him off the building. So he as he's falling off the side of the building, he just explodes into a million pieces.
Yeah. And that was the thing too. Like in the original comic book, Shredder was not a big baddie. He was there for like 1 issue or 2 maybe, and then they killed him.
Like I'd say probably the original 4 issue like story arc had to do with Shredder and the Foot Clan, and that was it.
Yeah. They must have like just decided when they made the cartoon that he was like a cool face to make toys out of and stuff.
Yeah, I think it just because I mean his costume looks exactly like how you think Shredder is. Like that look was all there. Like I would say in the comic book he looked a little more closer than he does to the movie version. But I gotta say, like all this shit about it's too dark. Like there's so much humor. Like here, like there's so many scenes of the turtles just fucking around, and to me they go, oh, it's violence or whatever.
I never thought the violence was all that.
No.
I mean, it's not super cartoony, but it's not super realistic either.
It's actual, of the time, hand-to-hand martial arts fighting, but it's like, even like the sword shit, like Raphael and Leonardo, they never stab or cut anybody with their swords, like at all. So yeah, I don't get all the pussy whatever. I remember people saying, "Oh, my kids watch the Turtle cartoon and they get violent." It's like because it's martial arts. It has nothing to do with the way they make the cartoon. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, and there was that whole thing about like overseas, the show was called like Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because they didn't want to use the word ninja or something.
Like it's too violent.
Yeah,
And that was the beginning of the beta cuck era in America.
the beta cucks.
we got to make a prequel, The Rise of the Beta Cucks.
I love this right here. Look at Donatello. It looks like he's smiling.
Yeah, he is.
Like they just walk in, find out that their home was like fucking ransacked, and they're getting ready to find out the Splinter's gone, and he walks in with a big ass smile on his face.
And it's like stuck there too, yeah.
Yeah, I read that apparently. Oh, this part right here where Donatello just starts screeching like an idiot. This scared the fuck out of me as a kid.
Raph.
Not Donatello.
Yeah.
Raphael, yeah. But yeah, that scene, like, it always makes me think, because apparently I was reading trivia that because all the animatronics in their face, they would, like, a lot of times they got interference from, like, radio towers and stuff. So, like, a lot of times they'd be shooting a scene and their face would just start jittering, like, uncontrollably.
Right.
So I always like to think that that's like a scene that made it into the movie.
Yeah, because the suits are amazing. It was like one of the first times they fit that much electronics into like a wearable suit, you know, because usually the guy inside is seen through the bandana. Like there's a little slit. There's like one part, I want to say it's Michelangelo later on. You can't see the guy's eyes or nothing, but you can see the slits kind of where they would see out.
Yeah, that scene whenever Raphael's in the bathtub and they walk in and he's like, "Oh, it's a Kodak moment." And then he laughs. You can, like, if you pause it, you can see the guy's face inside his mouth.
Oh, can you? I never noticed that.
Yeah. There's like, yeah, you should Google like faces in the mouths on like Google for TMNT. It's fucking weird because when I first saw it, it's like one of those Mandela effect things. It's like, that's not in the fucking movie. This is a lie. And then you go back and watch the movie and they are.
Yeah, we should say, for people not following along, the foot soldier, when Raph saved April, the foot soldier followed them back through the sewers. That's how they found Splinter.
Mm-hmm. I got a list here of people that were considered for the role of April O'Neil. There's some cool ones on here. Jennifer Beals, Marissa Tomei, hell yeah, Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, Melanie Griffith, Sean Young, Lorraine Bracco, Winona Ryder, Brooke Shields. Yeah, that's all of them. Hell yeah.
I bet half of those they ended up they considered, but they probably didn't have the money to actually get them.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think they could have got Melanie Griffith. There were probably even Winona Ryder.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, whenever she got signed on to do this movie, the lady playing April on Cadillac Men. Oh. Cadillac Man, what's that movie called with
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams, and Robin Williams was a big fan of this, so he took her his comic books to show her, like, oh, this is how April is and stuff like that.
And then she looked at him and threw him in the trash and started complaining immediately.
Hell yes. She was like, I know how to do it.
My uncle actually had that Elvis statue that's back there.
Dog.
Yeah. I get to say, like, even though it's like a throwaway part of the story, like, I don't know why, like, but I always like this story of the kid Danny, which is like, you know, he's the son of April O'Neil's boss, but he's like kind of our, you know, our narrative storytelling way of getting inside the Foot Clan's headquarters and seeing what it's all about or whatever.
See, that's why he's stealing shit, because his dad only bought him one shirt. He's wearing the same shirt now.
He's stealing. I always like this thing with this. I think this is actually the best MC Hammer song too.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I'm blanking on what the name of it is. It's my
time. It's my vibe. Yeah.
Do what I want to. Pump it up, party. Like, it's way better than like You Can't Touch This and shit, because he's like actually rapping in this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I always like this scene of the kids smoking cigars and gambling and shit. I thought it was cool.
Oh yes. See, we all wanted to hang out at the Foot Clan meetings. Yeah,
I always thought this lair they constructed with like the skateboard ramps with you know, the video games. Now here's Sam Rockwell. It's probably his biggest. I mean, he's got a few scenes, but this is like his biggest moment of dialogue. I think he's fully greased with his
he's glistening.
Yeah, with this patchy mustache and that dirty ass white T-shirt. Oh my god.
Now he brings these guys in and he's like, oh yeah, we can basically do anything we want. And they're like, you got any cigarettes? What a beta. Why didn't he ask for Coke?
Why didn't he ask where are the girls?
It's a sausage fest in here.
Yeah, I always
I
like
love that. Go play.
go play like the fingers movement he has. Like, whoa, run and play.
When you see a guy that scary, with that scary voice, tell you to go play, you go play.
Yeah, I'd go play all night long after seeing that. Now, this is like when the boys get older, they start training them in ninjutsu, I should say. And, yeah, I'm blanking on this dude's name. I knew it the other night. What's the second in command guy's name? Do you know, Zach?
Yeah, I forget.
They only say it like one time in the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can find it.
Yeah, but yeah, like how many foot soldiers are actually making it through the training program if they got to fight this guy on a regular basis? Like, wouldn't you just, after this guy kicked your ass once, wouldn't you just leave the Foot Clan headquarters, go back home?
Mm-hmm. His name's Tatsu.
Yeah, Master. The guy just said it, Master Tatsu. That's what it is.
Soon as I find it, the motherfucker says it.
I know.
See, I blame the editor of this movie, the guy that freaking hangs out, or the girl that hangs out with Tarantino. She fucked me on that one.
Yeah. The parents probably didn't like that scene either. That kid was just putting his cigarette out on the thing. Probably didn't like kids smoking in a kid's movie. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm just lucky that I got to enjoy Turtles as a kid. And then, like, you know, like when I was like 10, 11, and then like a couple years later, by the time this movie came out, I was 12 or 13. So I was like that age of like an early teen to where like this was still like a really cool movie to me. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. His cape looks like it's made out of fucking tinfoil and like a trash bag.
Yeah, it looks like a zebra pattern, but like the black stripes are like made out of tinfoil or something.
Hell yes.
I gotta say though, the helmet is donk.
It is. And they call him a can opener in the movie, but like that's a nice thing to have. If you need to open a can and don't have one, just take your fucking helmet off and cut it open with that.
Yeah. Because, you know, they show it later in the thing, but the reason he wears a mask is he's terribly disfigured, ain't he?
Terribly. He got fucking scratched by a rat.
Yeah. I always love the scene, though, where, like, Tatsu pulls back the cape slowly to reveal, like, the spikes on his shoulder. I don't know why. I always thought that was badass.
Oh, yes. Fucking shoulder pads.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, not only just the direct sequels to this, but even, like, the Michael Bay modern ones. I don't think there's ever been a Turtles movie, like, as serious and badass and cool as this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what... I mean, I guess we touched on it. What do you think of the Michael Bay ones?
Man, the first one, I was very, like, meh, it's okay. Like, I never had it wasn't, I remember being so, like, I had such little expectations that when I finally saw it, I was like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I figured it'd be. And then the second one, I watched it, but I couldn't fucking tell you a single thing that happened in it. I forgot everything within, like, a week after watching it.
Yeah, like, I didn't have any high hopes for it just because it was Michael Bay, and then there was the drama where at first he wanted to turn them into aliens and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But like when I saw the first one he did, and I saw it in the theater, and it was kind of like, this ain't for me. Just like how I was a huge Transformers fan as a kid, and then I went to see the movie, and I go, oh, this ain't for me. This is like for like beer swilling, like you know what I mean, truck driving type of guys. And like that's how I felt about the Turtles movies. I'm like, oh, it wasn't even like I saw the Turtles movies and I was like, oh, this is just for kids and I'm older. I was like, no, this is for a certain demographic. Like this is for a demographic that like, doesn't really like action movies, doesn't really, like comic books. This is just like for the dumb movie audience, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then like the second one came out and so many people were like, oh, it's got Bebop and Rocksteady, it's so true to the original, whatever. And like I was like, I'll wait for video. So I waited for video. I watched it once. I'm like, yeah, like I don't need to ever own these or buy these or whatever. Like,
I was somewhat like, hey, we're gonna see Krang for the first time in movie form and all this stuff, and it was just like, yeah, I forgot about the movie as soon as I watched it. Did you know? You know how Nickelodeon had their own little show going on when the new ones were coming out. Did you ever see that episode where they cross-dimensioned them, like where the new guys met the original Turtle cartoon versions?
Yeah, I was never into those like Nickelodeon versions because I couldn't stand the way they looked, to be honest with you.
I have like the first season of it, and I've still never watched it. I forget who gave it to me. But yeah, I was gonna check it out. Yeah, like I did see that episode. They had like the original Krang and the new Krang. Gilbert Gottfried does the new Krang. I remember like for a while, like the new versions are animated like the old style, and then later on, I think the old style like is animated like CG, like the new ones. It was interesting.
Yeah,
They got all the original voice actors and stuff.
I gotta say too, because I kept going back and rereading all my comics, and I even like had like a handful of issues of the Archie type comics. Like, I don't know, like to me, like it just was never the same once you once we got out of the original era, I guess you should say.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember a scene in this movie where Tatsu attacks a kid and like beats him up?
Just during that training scene that we saw, but that was it.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember it, but it says that originally the kid was supposed to die from getting beaten up so bad, but they had him cut it out of the American version, and it says in the French version of the movie the kid does die.
Right. In the French version, the kid does die, but all the turtles chain smoke and drink wine.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though, because like how like that one scene Donatello was just smiling. It's like you could almost tell the scenes where they're just like they're wearing the stunt suits because the mouths never move. You know what I mean? And then the dialogue scenes like this. Like I gotta say, like when I saw this, and like I get anything now practical just looks old and dumb to people because it's like, oh, it's a guy in a rubber suit. That's so dumb. That's so lame. Bring in the CGI. But I gotta say, even as like I guess like an early teen, preteen, whatever, where I was when I saw this movie, like that sense of like magic of like, oh my god, it's the turtles and they're real, like they're actually in the real world, and like all those scenes of when they're blinking and their mouths are moving, you can see their teeth and shit. Even though it's not like probably the most realistic suit, like it doesn't exactly look the way like the Predator does or the Alien does or whatever in those movies. But it's still like, I don't know, like I just think they hit something perfect here of like it's still a little cartoonish, but it looks real. You know what I mean? Like they made the turtles just ugly enough to where they looked real.
Hell yeah. Exactly, I agree.
And just like this of like Donatello and Michelangelo, like watching the cartoon or whatever, and like they got so much personality to them. You know what I mean? Like they seem like real characters.
Oh yes. They're turtle shells. They got the 6-pack going.
Yeah.
They got some nice cum gutters.
Yeah.
I'm fucking terrible.
Yeah. I was going to say something equally worse, but I was just going to say the thing too, like when you first start watching the movie, like they kind of all look the same, but as the movie goes on and you get more of the close-ups and the dialogue scenes, like you start to notice the differences in the suits, like the way that their front shells are and then their back shells like all have different scars on them, and then their faces are different. Like Raphael definitely has like the widest, chubbier face, you know what I mean? And like Michelangelo kind of looks like the smallest, youngest one out of them all. I would say Donatello and Leonardo are roughly about like the same size and stuff. But so I guess we got to ask too, and I got like the biggest cop out answer of them all. But who was your favorite turtle?
As a kid, mine was always Raphael, and like later on, I started liking Donatello. And now, for some reason, I still like say like Donatello and Raphael.
Yeah, for me, it was like when I first started, whatever the kids version, I guess it was Michelangelo. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting more into Leonardo, like through the cartoon, because he was like kind of like the leader. I liked his personality. And then I really got into Donatello just because of his weapon. But like by the time this movie came out, like this movie like really and also combination of this movie and reading the original comic, because in the original comic book, Raphael is pretty much just like he is in this movie. He's like the biggest hothead, and like he always gets beat up because he goes and fights the Foot by himself and stuff. Mm-hmm. But this movie and reading the original comic books, like it pretty much switched me to Raphael's by far my favorite.
Yeah, See, you liked Donatello too as a kid,
Yeah.
and you had to because fucking he was the only guy that could beat fucking Bebop in the NES game with his long ass stick.
Yeah, them
He
video
had to jump
games.
on that fucking big crate and just fucking hit him as he ducked, which didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I only played the Turtles arcade game like a few times back in the day.
Okay, I'm talking about the NES one.
I know. And then I got the NES one, and I hated that game because it was so fucking hard and monotonous.
Exactly.
But they had a Game Boy game. I think it was called Follow the Foot Clan. And that's the one I played the most. I like, even now I can go through and beat it. Like it's like a lot shorter and a lot easier. But that was the funnest one, the Game Boy game.
Did you play the Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo?
Nah, I never had Super Nintendo. I had Genesis.
Oh, that's the one everybody loved. It was fun. It was different than the arcade version. It was completely different.
Yeah, I played the arcade version a couple times.
Yeah, and the fucking the console version, not only did you get to fight Bebop and Rocksteady, you got to fight Toka and Razor also.
Really?
Yeah.
There was one of them too where you got to fight Baxter Stockman. Like I know you got to fight him in the Game Boy game, but I thought there was one of those console versions you got to fight him too.
Yeah, you got to fight him in Turtles in Time, both versions. He's like the first boss guy, I think.
I think it's because Golden Harvest made this movie. That's why the action is so good. Like if just a straight up American production company made it, I think like the Turtles would have just like not really fought. You know what I mean? Like they just would have been like fucking slapping them and shit. But see, like this, like Donatello gets his head in the fishbowl and then he spits the water. Like this is still for kids. It still has the comedy. Like it's not that like brutal. Like they're just punching and kicking and hitting people with sticks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get these pussholes. Fucking beta cucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, I mean, I still like the cheesy stuff about part 2, you know, like once that initial disappointment wore off, you know, I like Toka and Razor, and I like Ninja Rap, and I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's just like once I saw what they did with the Turtles, and it's like so obvious that they're not allowed to use their weapons, like once like Michelangelo is like fucking hitting guys with pepperoni sticks and shit, it's just like this sucks, you know what I mean?
Combat cold cuts.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So like if I was like 12 or 13 when this came out, I guess I was still 12. I was probably a couple months away from turning 13. So then I was probably 14 or 15 when part 2 came out. So like that's when I was just like, fuck, this is baby beta cuck bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. See, I was probably around your age, like your age during the first movie when the second one came out, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is as a kid I loved part 3 also.
You know what? Because I hated part 2 or whatever, and then like we still went to see part 3 just to see something, you know, just like whatever. And yeah, I didn't really mind part 3 because like I guess my expectations had been like whatever. Like I expected a kids movie, and to me part 3 everybody talks shit about how terrible it is and stuff, and then like I admit it's by far the weakest one of the 3. But like
just the way the fucking turtles look is garbage.
It is, but it's like it's I don't. Was Jim Henson Chopped even doing the thing anymore, or was there somebody else?
This is the last movie Jim Henson did before he died. This one right here.
Yeah,
so,
I know he died like right after the premiere of this movie, but yeah, like but at least it reminded me more of a kids movie. Like I can watch 3 as like a kids movie, you know what I mean? But it's like this is like part 2 pussied out so much where you can't really claim it either. Like part 2 just seems like a regular Jim Henson type movie, like Labyrinth or whatever. But like to me, Turtles movies should be action movies, like comic book action movies. That's what they should be. And yeah, to me, this is like by far the best, and to me, this is like the only thing that even like remotely reflects the original comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jim Henson's Creature Shop did the third one. I'd assume like if they did, they'd probably want to scrub it and forget it ever happened. Like they wouldn't admit it now.
They because the suits got like more basic looking, and like I don't think the facial whatever.
Yeah, the animatronics moved like really goofy.
Yeah, they must have got somebody cheaper for that.
Yeah, one thing I liked about it though was that it had the return of Casey Jones.
It did. I like that too. I just like the time travel aspect or whatever it was, because like just seeing the turtles in the samurai gear and shit. Like I like that they did something different with it.
Yeah, the masks they wore were cool.
Mm-hmm.
While we're talking about Casey Jones, I have a list of people that were considered for Casey Jones.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, Keanu Reeves, the fucking Reeves
Oh,
himself,
shit, baby.
Christian Slater, Lou Diamond Phillips, Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Brian Austin Green, Alex Winter, Bill and Ted were considered.
Wow.
Gary Daniels, River Phoenix. Dang.
Yeah. I about half those names, I don't think they could have afforded it, to be honest with you, even at that time.
Elias Koteas, is that his name?
Yep.
He's great in this movie. Yeah.
He is. He is great. I like him a lot. You ever see his real piece de resistance is David Cronenberg's Crash? You ever see that?
I have seen that a long time ago. I don't remember him in it, though.
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, he's the guy that James Spader cornholes in the back of the car.
Dog.
I heard that's getting a 4K release overseas. I'm importing the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Shredder just punching the shit out of Splinter. Now I gotta say, we all know the backstory. Splinter, when he was a baby, like an actual rat-sized rat, he jumped up and attached Shredder's face.
Mm-hmm.
But in the story though, at this point though, Shredder doesn't know that's the rat, right?
I don't know.
He acts like he doesn't know, because wouldn't he kill him immediately if he knew it was Splinter? You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah. And they changed one thing in the movie, in the cartoon, or in this Splinter's, his owner was Hamato Yoshi. And in the cartoon, Splinter is Hamato Yoshi. They changed it. He cursed him and turned him into a rat.
That's right.
Was the comic book different, or was it one of the two?
I thought in the comic book he was like that, like he is in this. He was the rat.
Yeah, I did. I think they did say that they were trying to be more like the comic book than the cartoon.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a beta cuck move to make Hamato Yoshi. I think for the cartoon they just didn't want to admit that Hamato Yoshi got killed.
Probably, yeah.
And his wife.
Mm-hmm. See, what if fucking Shredder had sex with his wife and made Hamato Yoshi a cuck?
He did.
That wouldn't be fun.
It would be.
See, as a kid, I always felt bad for Splinter here. Like he kind of looks like he's a little cute dog almost. You just want to pet him.
Yeah, in both the original comics and live action movies, Splinter is the pet rat of a ninja named Hamato Yoshi in Japan.
Hell yes.
Intelligent for his species, Splinter is able to learn Jujutsu art by mimicking his master moves. I don't know why. I don't know if that line of dialogue was on the soundtrack or what, because I had the soundtrack taped to this, but I always have that burned in my brain with Splinter's like, mimicking his movements, I learned the art of ninjutsu.
It's funny watching him watching a fucking rat doing the ninja stuff. And
I know. But I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like this scene right here is Splinter. To me, not only does that look more real, obviously, but it looks better than the CGI dog shit they do now. I don't get why we just can't do this again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the Henson shop still exists because they just did that. What was it? The Dark Crystal series for Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Remember? Did you ever watch the Sci-Fi Channel? Remember how they had that show Face Off, where it was we're doing practical effects, but then they had another one with the Jim Henson Creature Effects Studio where they were doing shit like that. I think that one lasted a season. Yeah, I was excited. I was excited. I was like, oh shit, are they going to bring this stuff back? Are they going to start doing this again?
Yeah.
And yeah, you never see it.
Well, it's always J.J. Abrams, when he makes a Star Wars movie, he's like, for the marketing, we will create a video that we will put online a year before the movie comes out, where we brag about all of our practical effects. And then when you see the final movie, 70% of the practical effects we CGI'd over with.
Motherfucker.
I know.
What a beta.
That would be the worst beta cuck thing if the next version of Ninja Turtles movies were made by J.J. Abrams. They just keep handing the series over to the biggest name beta cucks they can.
Yeah, I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 of his movies. And I remember liking Super 8. And I also liked fucking Cloverfield Avenue, the one with Mary Elizabeth in there.
Yeah.
With John Goodman. But yeah, like I remember a lot of people hated the ending of that, but it was like, it's fine. Like it probably would have worked better if it didn't end like that, but I assumed it would because it's a fucking Cloverfield tie-in or whatever.
Well, JJ's a guy too where he loves to put his name on stuff that he doesn't actually make. So
Yeah, apparently.
and anything that comes out of his company, he takes the credit for. So I mean, he actually didn't direct any of the Cloverfield movies. So
apparently, like he put his name on that and just had him change the ending. So yeah, apparently if he wasn't involved, it probably would have been a better movie.
yeah, anything without him is a better movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that just to be an asshole. I mean, just think about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I always like this touch too that April draws the portraits of the turtles. I guess we should say that the storytelling in this movie is very basic, but I think it actually works. It keeps the movie flowing. Like this is the intentional like slow down period of the movie because you know they got beat by the Foot Clan and all that. April's well, really her building because she owned the junk shop down below and the apartment above. So like her whole building got burned down by the Foot Clan. So like they regroup in this country home. And I gotta say, like, even though this is supposed to be like the quote unquote slow part of the movie, like it's actually like really entertaining.
Mm-hmm. They're basically at their lowest here. They lost Splinter. They came in and kidnapped him. And then to burn down April's house, they basically go somewhere and hide out and just recoup for a little bit. And apparently, like, there was a bunch of deleted scenes, and they're mostly from this middle section at the farmhouse. Apparently, like, I never noticed, but in this final cut, Michelangelo doesn't say a word the entire time they're in this farmhouse.
It's probably because all he ever does is provide hijinks, and, like, this was the part where they needed to be serious, finally.
Yeah, I read a list of some of the deleted scenes, and there were scenes where he was in there talking and stuff. But yeah, I think in this final cut, he doesn't say anything here.
Like, basically, Raph is, like, half dead in the bathtub healing. Leo watches over him. Donatello and Casey Jones become friends. And at the same time, Casey and April start having some sexual tension.
Yeah, there was some more of that got cut out. Like, she, here she's, like, drawing all these pictures. And apparently she drew one of Casey Jones also. And like, at some point he finds it, and they, like, bond over that or something. It was before this even happens, I think.
I always love this scene with Casey in the swing. Like, I mean, I'm sure it was planned, but, like, when the swing breaks, like, he fucking, like, has the greatest reaction, like, he doesn't know it's coming.
Hell, did you see his bulge there?
No, I wasn't looking for it.
It was a nice bulge.
I was looking for April's bulge. I gotta say, too, as far as, like, wig making in movies go, it's usually pretty bad, but I'm, like, 99% sure that this was a wig that he had to wear for Casey Jones, because, like, if you see any other movie he's in, like, his hair never looks anything like this hair, but it looks real.
Yeah.
Like, even has the part kind of down the middle and everything.
I want to get a wig like that. I think it'd be funny. Like, I've been thinking about funny visual gags I can do for our YouTube channel. That was one I thought of.
Just get a super long wig like that.
Yeah. Here's that line I said at the beginning. I always laugh at this.
I guess you gotta, What's the guy gotta do to get some food? What's the guy gotta do to get some food around here?
What's the guy gotta do?
He wants some food. Bring some food.
His voice is all high pitched there. It's dank.
I know.
He should have talked like that through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Way more intimidating.
Yeah, Leo has kind of a funny voice there.
Exactly.
I like how the tub's completely dry, so they were just keeping him in a dry tub for no reason.
I'm reading that Baxter Stockman was originally one of the side villains in an early draft of this movie.
That would have been donk. Because this movie's pretty lean. You could have put a little bit more fat onto it.
Hell yeah. Oh, there it is. Did you see his face?
Nah, I was looking for it and I still didn't see. Oh, well, no, Donatello, you can see his mouth. I guess it's special stunt.
It's whenever he does that, like, It's weird. It's weird. It like makes all your dreams like crash and burn. Like everything you believed as a kid is just dead when you notice that.
I'm gonna have to Google that when we're done recording here.
It's like, I was looking at Yeah, I was looking at those pictures. I was like, that bullshit. Fucking, they're not people in costumes. Those are real fucking mutant turtles in that movie. Fucking Beta Cuck's lying to me.
Beta Cucks will lie. I don't really, it's kind of a weird episode because, you know, a movie like this, we'll probably get like a lot of those, like as Aaron calls them, those flyby listeners. And people will be like, I just wanted to hear a movie or a podcast about the movie Ninja Turtles, and all I heard about was Beta Cucks the whole time.
Exactly. They don't believe the beta. They're trying to lie to you and make you think that these are guys in costumes and shit.
Well, the worst thing about Beta Cucks, Zach, is Beta Cucks will try to tell you that Beta Cucks in general do not exist and that they're normal people, but we know they're Beta Cucks.
Oh yeah.
If you're watching a PG-13 turtle movie and you say it's too violent, I won't even say you might be a Beta Cuck. I'm saying you're definitely a Beta Cuck.
Oh yes. We talked over the only scene where fucking where Michelangelo or was it Raphael? He's wearing like that weird ass straw hat.
Yeah.
Apparently there were some deleted scenes with that hat. Hopefully one that explained the origin of the hat. I needed to know.
He probably found it in a closet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I always thought April was sexy in the scene with her no bra shirt on.
Hell yes. See, that'd be great if he stole that hat from fucking Splinter, like Splinter wears it sometimes.
It was Splinter's hat.
Hell yeah. He's the fucking man.
When Splinter goes line dancing.
Hell yeah.
Because Raph dresses like, when Raph wears his whatever disguise, he dresses like Humphrey Bogart from the 40s. But when Splinter wants to go out of the fucking sewer, he gets ready for country western line dancing.
Hell yeah. Turtle wax.
The goofiest moment of the entire movie, but I still like it.
Exactly.
Hey, funny Mikey. Leonardo's got some good brooding going on in this movie, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think after this is where they do the scene where they sit around the campfire, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're already almost through the second act of the movie where they're at this farmhouse.
Yeah, when I was watching this other night, because I've been plowing through a lot of movies lately, Zach, and a lot of times I start them too late, so I got to watch half of it and then watch the other half the next night. Mm-hmm. I thought this was going to be a situation, and like next thing I knew, the movie was like almost over, and I just ended up watching it all at once.
Mm-hmm. I got a kind of a fun fact here. It says in the 80s, the first pitch for this movie, it was from Schlockmeister Roger Corman's New World Pictures.
Oh.
The idea was to have the Turtles played by 4 comedians who were popular at the time, and they were Gallagher, Sam Kinison, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Billy Crystal. The actors would be dressed in turtle shells and have their arms and legs painted green. Another treatment received at the time took Turtles into R-rated territory and included a scene with partially nude nuns on roller skates fighting the heroes.
Oh my god. Yeah. Do you happen to be a Roger Corman aficionado, Zach?
Oh man, there's some things that like didn't he have something to do with like Munchie and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Movies? Like I like his stupid little like kind of aimed at kids movies. Mm. Like I never really like he did the Fantastic Four. I never saw that. A lot of his stuff I just kind of never saw.
Yeah, I gotta say, as far as Roger Corman shit goes, like the best stuff that carries his name was just movies that his studios put out at the time, where he let other people, like you can see up Raph's eye slits right there. Pretty much all their eye slits you can see in this shot, but where he just like gave people X amount of dollars and let them run free and make their own movie, like that shit was good. Anything where he had a creative hand in, like a lot, especially after a certain time period, like probably like the mid 80s, like from then on, anything with Roger Corman's name, especially anything he written or produced, like it was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he didn't get the fuck up the Turtles.
Oh yeah.
You know, in a weird way, as fucked up as all the sequels and remakes were of Turtles, like I'm glad that they're at least the original. Like that means a lot when the original movie can be good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Isn't it kind of funny? Like as a kid, for some reason, like at least for me, I always gravitated towards the sequels of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my logic was like, oh yeah, in the original, like there's always that time where you got to kind of warm the audience up to the creatures. So
Yeah.
like in the sequels, they're always right front and center, right from the
Right.
beginning. So you have more time with these creatures.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I always remember thinking that as a kid, but like as an adult, it's like, yeah, like what were you thinking? Like, oh, the sequel's always just let's redo the first one, pretty much.
Yeah, like, because that's what they even always tell you. Oh, origins are so, and they try to sell you now not to do like true origin stories for like superhero shits. Because they're like, origin is so hard to establish, blah, blah, blah. With the sequel, you just hit the ground running. It like that's what they always claim, and in theory, it sounds perfect. But yeah, what's funny is usually when you watch the part 2 of a lot of different movies, you realize, oh, yeah, we actually don't have anything, and we're just going to do little things that remind you of the first movie in some way, and then we're going to, just kind of wrap it up at the end. And
Yeah, like I remember, like you were a big fan of or you weren't a big fan of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Like, do you like the newer ones where they don't bother with the fucking origin story?
No, I hate the new ones.
Oh, okay.
My favorite one is the first Andrew Garfield one. And then I like I like the first half of the second Andrew Garfield one, and then it goes really fucky once the Green Goblin shows up. But no, the new ones are terrible because you have no idea. The ones with Tom Holland, you have no idea like what happened. Like, is Aunt May like a widow? Is she? And I remember Bird or somebody was trying to explain to me like, oh, they don't need to do that. Yeah, there's a line. Everybody claims there's these lines hidden in these movies that reference, oh, Aunt May's going through a hard time. Oh, blah, blah. To me, there was never an Uncle Ben in those new ones because like even if you're not directly like mentioning it or whatever, like you still got to play the emotional afterthought of it. And Marissa Tomei is never sad for one fucking second in any of those movies she appears in. So it's like, they're just slap-ass, happy-go-lucky, sell-out fucking movies to me. Like, especially the last one, the Far From Home one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's just like a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's not like a terrible, terrible movie, but it's like, it feels like a movie that, like, obviously they didn't do this, but it feels like a movie that was made in 2 weeks with no fucking story. It's like, oh, he goes on a trip, and every town the class trip visits, there's a monster attacking that he has to fight. Like, it's so like fucking like, and then of course they you think this is like kind of like almost like a one-off random story with a new villain, and then nope, it all ties back into the MCU, through past movies and whatever. And I'm like, to me, that's weak storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, there was these pictures she's drawing. There was like a tie-in at the end. In the original ending, she was like visiting like a comic book like studio and pitching the idea for the comic book, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And she's with the kid here. I forget his name. But like, yeah. They show it to the guy running it. And he's like, these hero turtles are just too far-fetched. And like the turtles are watching from outside the window, and like Michelangelo falls down. And I sent you that. It's basically like it's got the original actors in the suits, their voices. So it's kind of weird to watch. Yeah, I sent you that.
And then I'll take a look at it. But I heard there's even an more original version of that scene, Zach, where the guy that has no imagination and never thinks the turtles will work is they pan back the camera and you see the name tag on his desk and it's Kevin Feige.
Hell yes.
Like, I forgot to mention it. And also, too, because I'm watching it on a 7-inch screen now, but I totally noticed it when I was watching it on my big screen TV the other night, Zach, is, like, when they pulled Danny out of, like, the closet, like, those floppy red things, like, that's, like, a stuffed animal version of the Noid from Domino's.
Yeah.
And then also on the Ninja Turtles TV, they have, like, a little figure of the Noid stuck on there, too.
Yeah, see, they were shilling for fucking Domino's hardcore, and then fucking Pizza Hut comes and like, oh, we'll fucking publish and like advertise the movie, and the movie has their biggest competition of the time in there.
Like, how the fuck does that work? Like, did Domino's money just run out once they stopped filming? Because and also too, the pizza that turned all green that Danny had down there that rotted, that was also a Domino's pizza. So like, the only time you ever see pizza really in this thing is like Domino's. Like, I know April says she has some frozen pizza, but they never show the brand or anything of that. There's so much Domino's, and then that'd be like if you were like watching a movie, Zach, and everybody like into the camera was holding up cans of Coke, drinking it. And then when the movie came out, it was like Pepsi commercials for it. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no freaking sense.
It's pretty funny, actually, to think about.
But it's great. It's great strategy from the filmmakers, right? Though, because like they got to soak two pizza companies for product tie-in money.
I'm pretty sure with the sequels too, it was always like Pizza Hut after that, if I remember right. In the movies. Like, I can only imagine it was probably one of those things where like, oh, we have a small budget, maybe we can just get it an okay from like one brand, and then we'll just stick with that one through the whole movie.
I can't remember what company it was. I want to say it was Domino's, but I could be totally wrong. But like around the time, like the last, actually not even the last Batman movies, I think it was like the Christopher Nolan ones or something. Like there was like, they had like a tie-in, like maybe it was around the time The Dark Knight came out, but like it wasn't even like, maybe they had a special pizza, but I know the gimmick was you could get it in a special black Gotham pizza box.
Yeah. See, that's funny because like before, like, well, yeah, like the last time I remember like a movie doing a tie-in with like Pizza Hut, it was the Casper movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was basically like the commercial had like like you go into like a Pizza Hut and like Stinky and the other ghosts are eating, and Fatso was eating his pizza backwards, so he's eating the crust first. And he says something like, "Oh, I'm eating my pizza backwards." And as a kid, as an adult, you watch it and it's like, that's fucking stupid. But as a kid, I was like, that's fucking dank. I got to try that. I got to try eating my pizza backwards.
Yep.
Mom, can you take me to Pizza Hut tonight?
I got to eat it backwards. I remember making my mom, when I think Back to the Future 2 came out, making my mom take me to Pizza Hut nonstop so I could get those stupid-ass sunglasses. Which, like, I don't even think were in the movie even, but they're like, oh, the solar shades from the future, solar shades. Oh, me and all my friends, we all had to have all the solar shades.
Solar shades, so they're basically just sunglasses, like normal sunglasses.
They always look like Rocky Horror Picture Show sunglasses, like some of them, like they're just like wacky shapes and colors, cheap sunglasses. I had them for years. And I remember like there was 4 designs, but 2 of them were actually the same, just redone in different colors. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. See, like, look at little Splinter when he got his ear cut off, the way he was holding it. This is some good, I'm telling you, this is some good puppet acting. He looked like a sad rat.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Was that stop motion or just puppet?
Just a puppet, yeah, because it was like under the floor. And it was really good. I'm sure probably what they did was they probably built it bigger to scale. Like, it probably wasn't literally the size of a rat. It was probably a little bit bigger, but still.
Yeah, so Splinter, like, he has that big ass sword and he swipes at Splinter. Shredder had the big ass sword. He swipes at Splinter, and he fucking misses and just gets his ear. Like, did he mean to do that? He wanted him to live so that he could one day do this.
Yeah, I mean, he even sees him as an adult, like, mutated rat with the ear cut off, and he still doesn't recognize him.
Well, maybe that is how he recognized him if he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, like the way I took it when I watched like the movie, like Shredder didn't realize who Splinter was, like, till like later on.
Yeah. You'd assume he'd say something about it or something.
Like, Shredder's like hatred for obviously he wants to kill the Turtles because like he was trying to shut up April O'Neil, kill her, or do whatever, and the Turtles stopped that from happening. So I get why he's mad at the Turtles, but he's also like, there's like a line where he's like, oh, we have to get these freaks. Like, he's so like, it's weird how like Shredder is like, these abominations of nature, we must kill them.
Mm-hmm. But then in the second one, he wants to fucking get them at their own game.
Yeah, make
his own mutants. Yeah. And he gets pissed off. He's like, babies!
I know.
They're babies!
He thought he was going to get these cool-ass mutants, and then he just got some dummies.
He'd rather have teenagers. Like, he wants instead of them talking about wanting mama, he wants them, like, wanting to, like, get a Playboy and, like, discovering jacking off and shit like that.
Yeah, it's weird. I never understood in the sequel why they just didn't do Bebop and Rocksteady, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember there was a reason for it, but I forget what it was.
Was it just that they wanted to like make new characters to make new toys out of?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I love, see, this is good filmmaking. I love this part where all the Foot Clan, like, you see them all jumping into the sewer, like they can't wait to get out of the sewer, and then later after the turtles kick their ass, they show them all crawling out of the sewer real fast.
Exactly. So I wonder, like, they live in the sewer, so like they probably gotten used to like the stanky poo smell. It's like, yeah, they could have done something with that. Like maybe fucking Shredder tries to kill him with by having the mutant babies shit all over them, but then they can withstand it because they're used to it.
Yeah, they
The
just
dank.
like bathe and well, you know what's funny too is like in the 70s and 80s and like there was a lot, I guess maybe even in the early 90s too, because for some reason the Punisher moved into the sewer too in the Dolph Lundgren version. But like these movies love to have all these sewer scenes, and like they're always in the sewer and it's like steamy and hot, and there's like 2 inches of water, which like that would really just be piss and shit. But like when you see a sewer like on an actual TV show, like a documentary, like it's like you're up to like your neck and just like it don't even look like piss and shit. It looks like barf just flowing through the sewer. And like literally if you stepped in it, you crawled into it like without a completely protective suit on, like you would actually just like get super sick and like ill. You know what I mean?
This is actually one of the like more comedic scenes in the movie where Casey Jones is mimicking his like the bad guy's vocal thing he does while he's doing. Yeah. And his reaction to seeing Splinter for the first time is fucking pretty funny too.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, what the fuck? And then just kind of shrugs like, okay.
Yeah, Elias Cotees is awesome in this. Did you ever see, it's a remake. I think it's like a remake of a Humphrey Bogart movie, but did you ever see Desperate Hours with Mickey Rourke and Elias Cotees play brothers? And
No.
Dude, I actually highly recommend it. So it's like Mickey Rourke is like this like criminal. I forget what he did. I think he's like a murderer and shit. It's actually like, it's funny when you watch it. It's like the characters are actually who Tarantino based the Gecko brothers on and From Dusk Till Dawn. So like Mickey Rourke is going on this big trial, and his lawyer is Kelly Lynch, this like hot woman who he seduced, to help him escape. So they do like a whatever you call it, like courtroom escape. And Elias Cotees is his brother and helps him get away. And then there's like a third guy played by David Morse, and like like all the cops and everything are like looking for him, so they have to hide in like this big mansion that's like owned by Anthony Hopkins and I think Mimi Rogers, and they have a couple kids. I want to say Shawnee Smith plays the daughter. It's actually a really good movie. I want to say it's from 1990. So like literally like either 89 or 90. So like it was like the movie either right before or right after this that Elias Cotees made. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's worth watching. And it's kind of funny too, because like the whole eventually somebody figures out that the criminals are in the house, so like all those, it's like a whole media thing, and like the SWAT teams and shit come, and it's actually like a pretty good parody about those type of situations, how bad law enforcement fucks everything up.
Oh yeah.
So
I got the DVD cover of this movie on my desk right here. I'm looking at the special features, and guess what's one of the special features?
What's that?
Interactive animated menus.
Holy shit. You probably, when you got this DVD, you probably sat there for hours playing with the interactive DVD menus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a playable game that you can play with your DVD remote.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah,
a theatrical trailer and much more. I'll give this the special features a 3 out of 10.
Oh, there you go. That's a true Hillbilly DVD review rating.
Exactly.
You ever see the ones where they just have the trailer, and I always say I gotta go low on this motherfucker. You only got one special feature, 1 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so this was a pivotal scene when Casey Jones, he was getting his ass beat by Tatsu, and then he found a golf club, and in one hit knocked him out. And then what's his name, Rockwell, and the rest of the baby Foot Clan have to reconsider their stance of
Yeah, they're like, but the Shredder protects us. He's like, we're family, and then Casey Jones goes, "You call this family?" And that's all he had to say to get them to like reconsider.
Yeah, like I always remembered it like he gave him a speech, like, you know, he doesn't. He just goes, "What, you call this a family? Oh, fucking forget about it."
Sam Rockwell's completely deprogrammed by that speech.
Yeah. I think what really would happen was all those kids realizing the Foot Clan was coming to an end, they would just would pretty much loot that warehouse and just leave with all
Steal
the goods.
all the cigarettes to finish smoking. Yeah. It's probably the only reason they joined.
Yeah. So now the fighting, you know, because the Foot Clan keeps retreating, the Turtles are just chasing them. I like that one shot that was earlier. Oh, there's the big trailer shot. Michelangelo can pop his head in his shell.
Hell yes.
That was so huge. So, like, I like the fact that the Turtles at this point are actually now chasing the Foot Clan to beat their asses some more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've already beaten them and made them run away, but, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
This is, like, you want to talk about some good studio work, too. This rooftop, the translights, like, the backgrounds that are, like, the city skylight. Like, it all looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. You ever notice the Foot Clan are basically all the same stereotype, like the same archetype? Like, they just went to the fucking Create a Wrestler tab in fucking WWF Attitude, PlayStation 1, just made a generic guy. Did they have that? Did they say, kids, if you're like over a certain amount of weight, if you're below a certain amount, if you're like under this tall, don't bother fucking joining the Foot Clan?
Yeah, because they're all about 6 foot, 150 pounds, I'd say.
Exactly. That's non-inclusive.
And there's no like during the fight scene is there's no like scene where like, you know, the littler ones get out of the way and some big hulking Bigfoot Clan guy. No, they're all exactly the same size.
Mm-hmm. And we saw like at their hideout there was like all kinds of different people there, like white kids, black kids. There was like, you know, like Asian people were there, all kinds of people. But now we're only seeing the Foot Clan as white guys.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What are they doing there?
They trained a bunch of white guys in the art of ninjutsu. That's why the Foot Clan wasn't very good.
Yeah, they're fucking up to something fucking fucked up, I think. Making all the non-white guys do other shit around the Foot Clan headquarters.
Yeah. I gotta say, I think Shredder's costume is pretty badass in this movie.
It is, yeah.
Like, the material they made out of, like, the way it catches the light and it's shiny.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, we've gone through this whole movie. The Turtles have never killed anybody.
No.
And we're getting ready to see fucking our boy Shredder whenever he falls into the back of that garbage compactor.
Yeah. They even lessened it from having Shredder get blown into a million pieces to just falling into a dumpster truck. Like, I mean, to me, I think they were, you know, they softened it up, if anything.
Yeah. And like part 2 must take place just like a day or so after this one because
he crawls out.
Yeah.
So
fucking April O'Neil goes from looking like this to looking like Paige Turco in just like a day. It's weird.
She gets a fancy makeover and gets shorter.
Exactly.
So I was curious about what was the ratio for this movie? Budget $13.5 million. Box office $202 million. You gotta understand that's $200 million in $1990. That'd be like 60. That'd probably be like $600 million now. In all honesty,
it's weird to think that this was like a big like kind of like name too. Like it's a big property, and they just let some people that were doing it completely independently have it. That's fun. Yeah. Like would they ever do that now?
No. Disney would buy it and then fucking, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Bob Iger must own everything. I own Star Wars now. Look at my Beta Cuck trilogy.
Oh, yes. Back to the Beta Cucks. They always come up.
You can't do a podcast without talking about them. You know who's not a Beta Cuck, though? And who would have been my choice to play Casey Jones in this movie? Pauly Shore.
Hell yes. See, they couldn't do that because he would have fucking stole the whole show. It's about the Turtles.
Yeah.
You can't just let Pauly Shore come and steal your movie.
Hey, buddy. I'm chilling with the
Yeah.
turtles now. Splinter, get that fat nug, and then we'll get some pizza for some grindage. Ooh.
He'd have the turtles talking like him and shit.
He would. Yeah.
See, they could have got him to play fucking Splinter. That'd have been great.
Oh yeah. The turtles would have been all valleyed out then.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I like this how like they try to take like him like 1-on-1 and like he beats them.
Yeah, they get their ass kicked.
And they have to throw their weapons over, and they realize Shredder's just going to kill Leo anyway.
Mm-hmm.
During some of the lighting, sometimes too, depending on how bright or how dark the lighting is, sometimes it's like hard to tell with the bandanas which one is Donatello and which one is Leo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because sometimes Donatello looks blue with his bandana. It's not it's not until you see them like side by side you realize like Leo's is like baby blue.
Mm-hmm. I remember too. There was a deleted scene where during the farmhouse section where they were like training, kind of building up their strength again, and like they were doing a thing where they turned their bandanas around to blindfold themselves, and like I remember seeing like a still from that deleted scene. Yeah, I wonder if the deleted scene still exists since the alternate endings does.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a fun fact. Like on the letterbox version, that's shot right there where he flips over the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or not the letterbox version, but the square aspect ratio for
the 4:3 whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could tell, like you could see like the rod going up Splinter, or like it was either that or like the harness he was setting on or something.
Yeah, because they shoot it kind of squarish, and then they mat it down to be widescreen, actually. So, yeah. So when you get those 4:3 versions, you see the top and bottom.
The most famous fuck up in that, department was like in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where he's pulling the fucking chain out of his bike, like the little thing. And you could tell that the chain was just going through a hole in the bottom of the little like add-on thing he had on his bike.
Oh yeah, I have seen pictures of that. I can't remember what it was now, but I watched something recently, and I was like, this looks a little off. Because another thing I hate is when a movie is like ultra widescreen, like 235:1, and then for like the cable version, they like either crop it, or sometimes they do like you're saying, like they just open the mat up to where you can make it 16:9. And there was some movie, I can't remember what it was I was watching. It was an older movie, and they did that. I was like, this looks a little weird, so I looked the movie up, and I was like, oh shit, this is like supposed to be in a different aspect ratio. And because they were showing more information on the top and bottom, I kept seeing the fucking boom mic like swing around on the top.
Yeah. Oh, like there was one too. Remember in the original Mad Max, that scene where they throw he hooks the car with a chain, and then she drives off. And then when she gets home, she realizes that his hand was stuck to the chain because she ripped it off. Like in the VHS version, whenever she's following the chain, there's a shot where like she's following the chain and the camera pans up, and you can like literally just see that like somebody off screen is holding the chain so that it's hanging into frame, but you just see his hand like clear as day.
That's terrible. I don't get why they did that.
Exactly.
It's
funny because it's weird because like you get used to seeing it like that,
yeah,
and then you watch the fucking widescreen version, you can't see it. I remember like whenever I got the Blu-ray of Showdown in Little Tokyo. Remember the part where they crush the car and there's a fucking obvious dummy in the car?
Yeah.
You can't see the dummy in that, and I was like, what the fuck? That's like a classic scene.
Yeah, I need to get the Blu-ray of that, because I had like a copy, like a former rental copy on VHS I bought as a kid. Like there was about 10 movies, and I want to say there's that. I want to say I had a copy of Ninja Turtles, and then like for Christmas I got a copy of Batman. So I had like about 6-7 movies. Oh, and then later Pet Sematary 2 I got a copy of. Like back in the days, kids, when before Netflix, like during the summertime, and there's nothing on in the middle of the night, I would only have about 8 or 9 VHS tapes I could throw in and watch. So I watched a lot of those movies like 20 times over the years. Showdown, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Near Dark. I can't remember if I saved those or not. If I do have them, they're in a box somewhere. But yeah.
See, they needed to make that scene from earlier where he says he hates punkers, Casey Jones. He should have saw the little kid with the Sid Vicious shirt and like punched him in the face or something. Like,
Yeah, I hate
it had
punkers.
it had to go full circle.
We totally ignored the best Casey Jones line of all time when they came back from the farmhouse and they were crawling in the sewer, and then you realize he's claustrophobic, and they're laughing at him saying, "You're claustrophobic," and he says, "Hey, I never even looked at another guy."
Exactly.
You could get away with that humor back then, not now.
Exactly.
A lot of people I've heard are cringing now because they're watching the Bill and Ted movies again, and that scene where Bill and Ted hug because they think Ted died for a second, and it turns out he didn't. And then, then they say fags, and they're like, yeah. I heard that's triggering a lot of people now. It's like, yeah, even Bill and Ted aren't ready for these times.
Yeah, back in the different time, baby.
So everybody cancel your whatever $25 pre-orders for VOD this Friday.
Not only that, in the second movie, they call the devil a fag.
Do they? I don't remember that. Yeah, because I only had the first one on videotape. I haven't seen the second one like a whole lot.
Exactly.
But that's going to change soon.
I actually prefer the second one.
Yeah, I think you remember you told me. Oh, we should say at the end, Splinter tells a joke and he says, "I made that funny." But like when I was like watching it, I was like, it's really not really a joke. He just said like tubular or whatever it was he said.
Yeah. He just spoke in the same language they say.
Man, this episode, this movie, man, this shit flew by, man.
Mm-hmm. Now we're getting a dank ass song, not nearly as good as Vanilla Ice's magnum opus in part 2, Ninja Ninja. The Ninja Rap is what it's called.
I think this is actually better though, because Ninja Rap was just like saying that shit over and over. This
I'm
one,
playing.
I know. Whoever this rapper is, he did a good job. Look, Head Thug, Sam Rockwell, but Passenger Cab, Josh Pace, Foot Messenger was Leaf Tiller, but yeah, like this one, because I had the soundtrack cassette, man. Like he does a good job, and I'll never forget. Even my boy Phil Dees, I remember he shocked me one night we were hanging out. This is probably like 20 years ago, and he busted out a line from this song, and it was like the same line that was always stuck in my head. Raphael, he's the leader of the group, transformed from the norm by the nuclear goop.
Oh yes.
And then you got Turtle, but it's actually like when you listen to it, it's actually like an inspirational song. TURTLE power, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But the guy said, like, if you listen to the guy's voice, it's not like a corny thing. Like he sounds like a hard ass rapper guy talking about the Ninja Turtles.
Oh yes.
You remember later? Because I remember Pizza Hut advertised the show. So you remember when the Turtles released through Pizza Hut a tape you could buy of them performing songs?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
We're coming out of our shells.
And they even did a tour, and like I was supposed to go see it. My dad was going to take me, but like for whatever reason, like I don't know if the tour got canceled or just our local whatever got canceled. But yeah, I never got to see it.
Fucking amazing. Like they actually made it like an entire like little mockumentary around it.
Wow.
And like I remember there's a scene where like they're talking about they're talking to this guy he's like their producer, and they're talking about like, oh yeah, they're so good at their instruments, and he's like, I think it was Donatello, he's playing a bass, and it's like, oh yeah, Donatello, he's playing bass, he's only got 3 fingers, so like we were wondering how are we gonna utilize this. so he's playing a nice 1-string bass. It sounds amazing.
Wow.
It's so fun. It's like a 1-string bass.
They're trying to convince you how real it is.
Yes.
Which now Marvel, like every hero just has magic witchcraft CGI suits that fly on and off in their bodies with no explanation at all. They just go, oh, it's technology. The Turtles universe, they're like, how is a 3-finger motherfucker going to play bass?
They had to let us know.
Yeah, they did. I want to say Michelangelo was the drummer, wasn't he?
Maybe. I'm thinking maybe the guitar player, or maybe he just sung. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I think he was a drummer, though, because it makes sense. He's the nunchuck guy, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another tape. If I ever come across it, I'll actually give it a listen.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, it was fun. I know you're a bit younger than me, so probably Probably as far back as you can remember, because like I actually remember when the Turtles like emerged and were like just barely coming out and then getting big. But probably like your whole childhood, the Turtles were probably a big thing, weren't they?
Hell yes. I was born in '89. I think the show was on its like third season at the time.
Oh yeah. Dang.
Oh yeah.
So to what Star Wars was to me, because I was born in '77, and what Star Wars was to me, Turtles were to you exactly.
Oh yes.
Because I was born the week the first Star Wars movie came out, and you were born like the year that Turtles Mania was really starting to blow up for the very first time. So.
See, imagine an alternate universe where this movie had like fucking random CGI elephants added in to hide like
that'd be best.
Empty space in the background, and like they updated the origin scene where they were kids.
Yeah, there was the when Casey Jones and Raphael fought in the park at first. There was a lot of empty space around them to put those CGI elephants into.
Not only that, like fucking they changed it so that fucking Raphael didn't strike first or something.
Yeah. In the remix version, instead of saying "cricket," you got to know what a crumpet is. Like in order to appease all the beta cucks, he just said they give him a British accent, and he says, "Oh, tally ho, sir, be on your way. Just knock me into the trash can now. Oh, I won't fight you, sir."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Harry Potter. Tell me, Zach, were you a fan of Harry Potter when you were a child?
I actually was. By the time the movies were coming out, I think I watched the first two, and then by the time the third one was out, I kind of grew out of it. But I still watched the third one, and I haven't seen any of them since that one.
Yeah, I didn't see any Harry Potters until like long after they were done on home video. So I came late to the party, and I didn't really stick around that party that much. It didn't do much for me. I was too old when the books came out, so it didn't hold any nostalgia for me.
They still need to make that Harry Pothead spinoff though.
Roger Corman that was probably his pitch before they made the first real movie. That was probably his pitch. Yeah, see, this is the special features on my Blu-ray, Zach. First of all, it immediately goes to the special features screen, and there's a photo. Like, it's not from the movie. It's just like some photo they took of Raphael posing next to a manhole cover that he's like holding up. And the special features are theatrical trailer and the sneak peek of TMNT Smash Up game for Wii.
Lame. They didn't even put the dank ass interactive game on yours.
No, just sneak peek. And I started watching that sneak peek Wii game shit. Oh, it sucked. I was like, I turned it off. It was just like these cartoony, like, you know how Wii, they always try to make every game look like a cartoon because the graphics actually sucked. It was just like, and it wasn't even like a real game. They were just beating the shit out of each other, like nonstop, like a fighting game. It sucked.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all we can say about Turtles for right now. I mean,
hell yeah.
We talked more about Beta Cucks than we did Turtles, to be honest. But
I almost did make a joke, like referencing, like if there was like a some kind of movie tie-in of the Turtles in this movie and the Turtle and Cannibal Holocaust, but I couldn't think of something funny enough to say.
That was their oldest brother.
Yeah,
he got caught before he could get transformed to the Norm from the nuclear goop. He got caught by them horny Italians who wanted to chop him up for no reason.
That was their buddy. That was their brother Picasso.
Yeah, Picasso. Yeah, we didn't even talk about them being named after the famous painters and all that shit. But I guess people already know that shit. They probably people know all the basic background knowledge when they come into the movie graveyard version of TMNT. They want to hear about beta cucks, don't they?
Exactly. Which turtle is probably the biggest beta cuck?
Oh, like he's really not in the movie version. But on like the more modern versions of the cartoon, they always made Donatello a beta cuck.
Hell yes, he's the enlightened one. He's the smart guy. They always got to be more beta.
Yeah, which I don't even think that's true. I think just because you know more about science and gadgets and electronics doesn't mean you're a beta cuck. If anything, he's less of a beta cuck because he's making weaponry to beat the shit out of people.
Oh, you don't frequent the internet forums I do. That makes you totally a beta cuck.
Oh, really?
Fucking being a science. Yeah.
If you know anything about the way shit works.
Exactly. Yes.
If you're an engineer who makes $200,000 a year, you're a beta cuck.
Exactly.
But yeah, so thanks for doing this with me, Zach, because I knew you was a TMNT fan, so you seem like the perfect fit to talk about this.
Hell yes.
And like I said, I just realized the other day. Well, I can't even give myself credit because it was after I asked you to do this episode. I realized it was 30th anniversary, but I'm glad we got that out. And technically, this will be our first episode of September, so it's kind of like summer's over, but we didn't really talk about any big, summertime, big budget blockbuster movies this summer. So I thought it'd be nice to sneak this one in there,
Hell yes.
So what else you been up to lately, Zach? What do you want to promote here on the Graveyard?
Well, we put out the last time I was on, we talked about the Mac and Zach fucking home movie we made years ago. We put that up, and now next we're probably gonna put the sequel up because there's a sequel to it.
Uh-oh.
So will probably be dropping next week or the week after, one or the other.
Dang.
Exactly.
And so I think this episode's going up September 7th. So the episode we're actually going to record on Friday will probably come out first. You want to tease what that's what's going to be about?
Oh, hell yeah. He's, our boy the GOAT, he's coming on the Cinema Enema podcast, and we're going to talk about, basically we're going to have like a little round table. We're going to talk about Hellraiser 1 and 2. Because that's one of those movies that's kind of divided among horror fans. There's a lot of people that are like, the first one is the best, and there are some people that are like, Hellraiser 2 I always thought was the best movie. I think it's better than the original.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, we're going to talk about it, baby.
It will tear your soul apart.
Hell yes.
I can't.
Whole apart.
Your whole. Yeah, I can't wait to. Speaking of that, I can't wait to talk about how hot Julia is again.
Hell yes, Julia Gulia.
Oh,
that's from fucking Wedding Singer. But no, Julia. That's yeah. What about Kirsty?
Oh, you know what? Because I'll plug our Instagram real quick here. The Movie Graveyard Podcast on Instagram. So they kind of give you people to follow there. And one of my suggestions was Ashley Lawrence, and I gotta say, she looks better now than she did then. Amazing.
She is a babe. Exactly.
Big time.
Hell yeah. Oh shit. You ever have every once in a while where one of your ears just starts ringing and you can't hear out of one? It's happening right now. It's weird.
That's your brain's way of telling you that the movie's over. Hurry up and put part 2 on so you can see Michelangelo slap people with pepperonis.
Hell yes. Or I just started thinking about Ashley Lawrence and my brain just wants to jack off now.
That's your that's like the voice of your fleshlight calling to you from the drawer.
Hell yes.
So yeah, anyway, that's it, guys. Congratulations surviving to September 2020.
Exactly.
And
how much longer will we make it?
We don't know. We really don't know. But yeah, it was fun doing this, Zach. Thank you, baby. And yeah, we'll keep it going. We'll have some more fun, ooky spooky, everything in between kooky flicks coming up here soon, right here in the Movie Graveyard.